it lights me up every time I see your post has been shared and it says Comedians Uncorked has shared your post. It always says Boston's Mike McCarthy. And I'm like, they're keeping their eye on me down there. I want to keep that seat warm. I want the people down in FLA to know what I'm doing, and I'm coming back for sure.
Now, broadcasting live from the Podcast Palace on Park Street in beautiful and dangerous Clearwater, Florida, it's the Comedians Uncorked podcast. And now, here are your hosts, Tony Gaud and Pat Largo.
Oh, nicely done. Razor Ramon, yeah.
Sucks. I've been having some bad luck here with losing people that are close to me and losing people like Bob Saget that we all know, and just been a crappy few months, you know?
Yep. Hey, Tom Brady's back.
Dude.
The saving grace. If there's one saving grace, that's it.
I'm so glad I get to keep about a 6 or 7 minute bit that I do now. Thank God. Because
you know what? I do something about Tom, too, by being Floridized, and it hits pretty good up here, but it kills down there. It kills. They are in love. Dude, Pat, I said Tom Brady's name on stage. I said do a joke. I go, well, I blame the whole pandemic on Tom Brady.
Right.
And the crowd goes, whoa, and they start booing. And I look at them and I go, wait, I've never been booed for saying Tom Brady's name. They're booing me. Normally I say Tom Brady, they boo him. They're booing me. They think I'm being mean to Tom Brady. I go, do you people think I don't like Tom Brady? He was mine before he was yours, but the people love him down there. God bless him. God bless him. Man.
You know what, man? And I always said this, and you know, I know you lived here in St. Pete for a while and stuff, and I've been a Bucs fan since '78. So, I mean, we to think about it, we sucked, royally sucked so bad at the beginning, and within a couple of seasons, we're one game away from being in the Super Bowl, which is Leroy Selman, all those amazing players back in the day. But I tell people from Massachusetts, anyone who's a Patriots fan, I said, I am jealous, literally jealous that you guys got to watch him for 20 seasons every Sunday. And it blows me away because we've had so many crappy quarterbacks down here and teams. Can you hear me?
I just started hearing you again. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay. I'm sorry. But, dude, you know, I never realized in such a team sport like that with so many people on a roster, one guy can literally change a whole entire organization.
That guy. That one guy. I'm not sure of anybody else. Maybe Lawrence Taylor. I don't know. But, like, Tom changes the culture. Because as he always was here, he was down there. First guy to show up, last guy to lead by example, and either you step in line or you don't get the football. That's that.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I'm happy to see it. And I was so worried once they signed him. I was so worried about our offensive line because I knew we didn't have that kind of line. They must have had a meeting, too, with each other when he came here. And they said, listen, this is a whole new ball game now. We better step it up. And I got to tell you, we had a rookie right tackle who played like all world. I mean, it was just amazing to see a transformation, man. And I'm so glad, you know, that it is funny to see him go, yeah, retirement's not for me just yet.
Yeah, sorry. Like who wants to stop when they're still at that level? You know what I mean? You got to play your whole life. And you're going to look back in like, what, a year, 2 years, 3 years and go, man, if I just stuck around, because I think he wants one more. You know what I mean? If he gets one more and doesn't walk, I'll be like, all right, dude, what are you doing?
Right. And that's what I'm saying. I want to see what other celebration is he going to do? Because once he got drunk on the boat a couple of years ago off of avocado tequila, which I've never heard of in my life, only one man can drink avocado tequila and not get ridiculed, and that's the great Tom Brady.
No question. He's throwing the Lombardi trophy from both. That's my joke. I go, our Tom Brady was doing jumping jacks and eating broccoli. Down in Florida, hammered with Gronk, tossing the Lombardi trophy from boat to boat. Belichick's head would have exploded.
I said next time I hope he could do anything and do no wrong. I think if he wins another one, he just literally takes a baby by the leg and just tosses it right in the water. Because, like I tell people, you could always make another baby, but you will never make another Tom Brady.
He takes a baby and starts eating it, and people go, oh, that's the trick. That's the trick. That's how he beats Father Time. He eats baby.
He eats kids. I love that shit. Dude, First off, I'm glad we got on here. Mike McCarthy, from Boston. He lived here for many years in the St. Pete area, folks. So we like to also call him a Floridian. He loves Florida.
I'm coming back, dude. I'll be back in the next 2 years, no question.
Good. Oh, for real? Like full time?
Absolutely. When my daughter graduates high school, my wife and I are moving back. I want to be in Madeira Beach, back where I was. I want to come back to the Bay. I loved it there, and now the comedy scene is so phenomenal. All the stuff you're doing. Like the comedians Uncorked, pushing everybody's show, and that the one that Stevie Eric, God bless him, I hope he's doing okay, is the Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah, the Tampa Bay Comedy. Are we having technical difficulties again?
I guess so. I mean,
There we go.
It said my internet's something, but I'm locked into my home one, which is pretty rock solid.
Yeah, you're good. You're good up there. All right, I got Spectrum down here. We know I pay $18 a month, so you get what you pay for.
Wow.
Gee, I know, it's crazy. But no, I appreciate that, and we can't wait to have you back. And speaking of that, though, because I always like to ask this, in the last couple of years with all the craziness going on, how's it affected you, your family, your career? I mean, how's everything going?
Going great now. I mean, during the pandemic, I actually got a job. Everybody else was taking unemployment. My dumb ass. Well, I was stuck at home with my kids. I was like, maybe there's somewhere else I could be.
You did the Brady. I got to go.
So I drove for Amazon for a short period of time.
Okay.
Which was people like, I was a hero, Pat. Do I have my cape on? Do I have my cape? Yeah. People, that word got thrown around pretty lightly, huh? They're like, hey, thank you, heroes. I'm like, listen, a fat, stoned, out-of-work comedian that brings you a Keurig is not a hero, okay? No. Tom Brady is a hero.
He's a hero. You're just looking to make some extra scratch to get some more pot.
Yeah, exactly, dude. And I'll tell you what, it was a great experience. I got a ton of material out of it.
Good.
But yeah, and I know how the other half live. I haven't had a real job since I was like 19.
I know. And
it was really a wake-up call. And there were some customers that were super nice. One lady made me cookies.
Wow.
And the best thing about it is I bring the cookies back and I show them with all the other drivers and they go, don't eat those, they're poison. I'm like, yeah, I think some 97-year-old lady that I bring all her stuff to has decided that's her move, is to take me out. Which, you know me pretty well, Pat. If I got killed by a cookie, okay, how many comedians would fall out laughing at my funeral and be like, did you hear about McCarthy? What happened? Car accident? Heart attack? Liver failure? Snickerdoodle.
Just some old lady had it out for him.
That's it. She'd been watching him for a while, and she was like, this is how this guy goes down. I got you now, McCarthy.
That's great. Well, I'm glad I saw you doing that gig and training for it and stuff. I'm like, God bless, because I'm trying to avoid it as much as possible, man. It's been about 4.5 years for me trying to do comedy and do a hotel gig. I was waking up at 3 a.m. I was taking care of my mom at the time. And I had the pressure every morning. I was just I felt hungover every morning. I had no rest. I was just worn down. But I'm just trying to keep the whole comedy and some of the on-camera stuff going on here. Now, I'm seeing more with you. Was it the Irish Comedy Tour you're doing stuff with?
I've been on the Irish Comedy Tour for about 12 years. This year, I kind of took a break. I'm staying home. I got to be honest, man. I'm sick of traveling and this whole mask thing on the plane. And so this year I kind of stayed around here up in Boston, which is, there's a few Irish people up here. Right. We're getting ramped up for St. Patrick's. I had a big show tomorrow at White's of Westport, which is right out here where I live in southern Massachusetts. Okay. But this is my favorite time of year, man. It's the greatest time of year, and I'm always busy.
And that's true. You got that going on. We got baseball back. If people don't know, Mike you're a huge sports fan, but obviously from where you're from, it's all Bruins, Red Sox, Patriots, Celtics. So a baseball strike. I always find it hard to side with anyone when it comes to baseball. It's just one of the least physical. It's tough for me. Of course. But are you pumped up though? I got my Rays. You got your Red Sox. How do you feel?
Yeah. Someone said it today. They looked at the hat and they're like, you a Sox fan? And I'm like, yeah. And they go, thank God it's back. Because when they were on strike, I kind of just went. I think I posted on Facebook. I go, there is no sport that shoots itself in the dick more than baseball. Like, this is the perfect season. We're coming out of COVID. Everybody's psyched. No. Idiotic, but at least they worked it out.
They worked it out. I'm glad. Like I said, we'll see Rays and stuff. I do love baseball. I'm a kid. Come on. I was born in 70, in Long Island originally. So, Mets, Yankees, I was brought up on, but then once the Rays came to town here in 98, that's my team. I'm a homer for all my Florida teams, but it is tough. It's tough to see the strike. I just can't, I'm trying to get a gig for $75 doing dick jokes for a half hour. But a right fielder who sometimes doesn't touch a ball says, no, I need $35 million a year for that shit.
This 27 ain't cutting it. I need $35 million. Yeah. It is very hard to empathize with these people.
It's tough.
Because if they push this season back any further, I always say this. I had a bunch of friends that that used to be diehards that quit on football and just quit on basketball. They're tired of all the politics in it and stuff like that. And people, you still watch sports? I go, I don't have a choice. I could lie to you and say, I'm not going to watch baseball. And I'd be like, that would last a day.
Right.
And someone would be wearing or I would see something. I just can't do it. It's too much part of my whole makeup. I love sports.
That's what we do. You still play softball, right?
Oh, yeah, I do.
I don't play as much. I don't play as much golf, but shoot baskets. You got to. That's how we were brought up, man. We now don't get me wrong. If we had phones and iPhones and all kinds of great games to play when we were kids, we'd probably maybe do that, I guess. But we were outside, man, bicycles and shooting baskets and hitting ball. That's what we did.
I hate to say it, but you're right. Because if you gave me these options, I don't know. It's easy to it's easy to cast aspersion and say, oh, why don't you guys go outside and do whatever? Video games and stuff I see my kids playing, I go, okay, I'm not going to start. You know what I mean? I'm not going to get into it. But if I was a kid, I don't know. But what you're saying, Reddy, there's a great line from that movie Tag. You don't get old. You don't stop playing because you get old. You get old because you stop playing.
Right, exactly.
And that's it. You got to keep doing that, man. Keeps us young. Yeah, no doubt.
And I've noticed another thing that people may not know about you that I didn't know much about until I saw you posting Facebook videos. You're pretty handy in the kitchen. Well, I'm seeing you making these beautiful steaks and potatoes and corned beef and doing your food reviews with like chicken parm sandwiches and wings from places in and around Boston.
Come by it honestly, I'll tell you.
Beautiful stuff.
Oh, man. Well, the food up here is fantastic. And I used to do a show that actually got a little bit of traction with my daughter called the Boston Barbarian Sports Kitchen.
Yes.
A lot of people were, and then my daughter got to a point where she went, I don't want to be on camera anymore. And let me tell you something. The ratings went, one fat, dumb comedian talking about food comparatively with a cute little spunky girl that's adorable. People just like, yeah, where's the unsubscribe?
Right.
And I hear them. I really do.
It would, but now what's better? Because you also love a good leg day in the gym. I know that too. What's better for you, a good leg day in the gym or cooking that perfect steak or brisket or corned beef?
Oh, I think the perfect steak. I really, because it's I don't think it should be that hard to get a steak exactly right, but it is my specialty. You know what I mean? That's the one thing, and it's as simple. I think people try and overcomplicate it with a marinade or a reverse sear or whatever, and I don't time it or whatever. I just been doing it long enough where you get that char on the outside, and then you get it medium rare or like rare in the middle, and the taste just salt and pepper, and you get to get good beef, and you get to taste the meat. And I eat so much of it, like people are legitimately like going, how can you eat all that meat? And I'm like, I don't know. I've been doing it my whole life. Like I've always been chowing down on red meat and corned beef and cheeseburgers and stuff. And a kid I worked with last night was like, dude, you got to lay off that meat. He's a friend of mine. And we're comedians, but when someone genuinely says something, you're like, are you really worried? And he's like, oh yeah. I'm like, look, you got bigger fish to fry. Let's not worry about me taking down a steak. All right. But I do. You see the ones I post. They're not 8 ounces. They're these big, giant brontosaurus burgers, and I polish them right off, bro.
They're barbarian size, my friend.
That's exactly right, my friend. Exactly.
And I got to ask you this, I've noticed this down here in some of the clubs in Florida and a couple of the places I've been, like in Georgia recently. That have you noticed if it's either maybe like this post-pandemic or people have been pent up for a couple of years? Have you noticed at live shows, any audience members just being a bit more aggressive with things? Have you noticed? We've been noticing this at some clubs down here that I've never seen before. Have you noticed that at all up there?
I think so. I think, with the whole everybody gets to be famous, you know what I mean? All it takes is a phone and whatever. And people have been, and it's, when I was younger, I didn't mind engaging with the hecklers and stuff, but now I'm just like, can you please? It's so rude.
Right.
Look, if it's going badly, I'm not saying you should do it, but I understand it. But it's happening on great shows, and people went, and you're like, look, I had a plan. I mean, I forget who said it the other night. They were like, how many people paid to hear this dickhead talk?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good point right there. How many people did pay to see this dickhead talk? But everybody's self-important now. We made everybody famous.
And God, man, it's almost disheartening. We saw a story we covered a few in our first season of the Comedians Uncorked podcast. It was in the Comedy Zone in Jacksonville, and this woman, probably early 40s, I believe she was married, literally got out of her seat and walked onto the stage.
Oh yeah,
and was talking about, I didn't appreciate the marriage jokes. I'm happily married, blah blah blah. But the sheer guts of someone to just take it upon themselves to just get up and feel free to walk into someone's office like that, it blew me away. It
boggles the mind, dude. I got to be honest. I wouldn't allow it. Well, I shouldn't say that because I've done hell gigs. Coconuts in Lakeland. People go, they walk on stage. I go, hey, here you go. I'll take a break. Good luck with all this. I've been doing this for 20 years. You want to take a microphone? But someone coming up confrontationally onto the stage, I don't know, man. I would be, I don't know how I would react. I'd like to think I'm old enough where I would just walk away. But if I was in a bad mood, I'd be like, are you? And then complaining about your act? That's bad enough anyways. Right. I mean, look, if you don't like it, leave or, be polite. Who brought you up? Just leave and don't say anything to the comedian. But to stop and complain and say, and the worst thing that's ever happened, I was in Seattle and some woman got mad at me for making fun of my, making fun of Mississippi and making fun of my Irish heritage. And it was great because it was after a big show at a theater, which I would have handled it differently. It was a bowling alley. It was after a bowling alley. I would have went, shut up. It was a really, really nice venue. And I was with the Irish guys. So there were 3 other people on the show. We made great money, and we were at a bar that was sponsoring us. We're hanging out, and I see this woman. This is 2 hours after the show, mind you. And I see this young girl looking at me, and I'm with the theater owner. And finally, it's just me and him, and I see her walking over, and I go, this ain't going to be good. Yeah. And he goes, what do you mean? I go, I can tell this isn't going to be good. And she comes over, she goes, can I talk to you with the crazy eyes? And I'm like, yes. She goes, first off, I used to live in Mississippi. And you said that people from Mississippi were incestuous. And I said, no, I didn't. I said people from Mississippi were illiterate. I said you couldn't read. I didn't say you fucked your family. So you get her on, like spits out. He goes, oh my God. And she goes, her eyes roll. She's like, what? I go, yeah, that's what I said. Whatever. I go, I didn't mean to imply. She goes, well, I didn't really appreciate that. And I didn't appreciate you making fun of your Irish heritage. And I found myself, I apologized, and I'll regret that. For that night, I couldn't believe, because she wouldn't give up. She wouldn't give up. And she was just like, blah, you can't say this. I go, what are you talking about? I can say whatever I want. Yeah. I mean, you can come up to me afterwards and say you didn't like it, but how long are we going to do this for? Right. Before, like I said, if it was a bowling alley gig, I would have been like, I would have used some words like, but it was a night, I had to walk away. I had to leave the bar. I had to go find the other guys, and I go, look, we don't leave soon, putting this girl in a dumpster. 22 years old. I've been doing comedy 16 years longer than she's been alive. Right. And she's going to tell me what I can and can't say. I had a woman, it was a great joke, stage right. Everyone's laughing. I look over her. She's going like this. And I go, what's the matter? She goes, I'm trying to decide whether I should be offended by that joke. I go, is that what you're doing right now? Is that what's happening? While everybody else is laughing, you're running it through your head like a Let me tell you, no, you shouldn't be offended. You should be locked up because you're a crazy person here at a comedy club judging every single word I say. And for us, how it's like we're trying to make you laugh. That's it. That's it. I make jokes about midgets and why can't you call them little people? I'm like, because midget is funnier. That's it. No, man, I don't chase midgets. Look at you, little midget. You can't ride the roller coaster, you midget. No, just a joke. Stop taking it. Look, so how can you take comedy seriously? Ask yourself that question. How do you leave? Get out. If you don't like it, look, everybody's seen
Right.
the person at the show that shouldn't go to a comedy show, and he's got it written over his face. He's like, this was their idea. And I'm like, I feel for you, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk to you or push you look like you don't want to be here. But don't come by and harass me or I'll call the club up and do whatever. And like, because you never, that can mess up your shit beyond comprehension. One idiot calling up the club saying you said this, and look at McCarthy's kid. That's the greatest club in the country. Now picture one person calling up and saying they didn't like what you said. And then you don't get to work there because one knucklehead didn't like one thing. I mean, Les would never do that because he's a club owner. That's a great club. But picture losing out on something like that. Something you look forward to every year because somebody went, nah, I don't like the word midget.
Right. And some clubs, now some people who know you clubs, and they'll know, okay, we know what you meant.
Exactly.
But some, you're right.
What if it's your first time through and you go to a club with a guy where it's not somebody cool as shit like Les and Pam. You know what I mean? Like some businessman who just cares about asses in the seats and not, you know what I mean? And not what we're doing. And all of a sudden, and here's the thing, man, someone told me a long time ago, if you're going to be a problem, you know what I mean? Talking about me being dirty, I can make just as much money with somebody else who's not going to be dirty. The exact same, until you have a name to put asses in the seat, everybody's the same. We're all interchangeable, unless you get on social media and you get fans and whatever. But in the general scope of things, they go, well, listen, I don't know if what she said is right, but it's just easier for me to appeal. And some people do like, they have connections and they'll go after you. Oh, this guy said this, or they got all this free time, and they'll assault it's crazy, man. Like to get offended by a comedy, I can't wrap my head around. Like, isn't there enough for you to get bummed out about?
There is, and like you said, everyone's a victim nowadays. I like to just say they like to play the victim card, so to speak, because common sense is out the window. Like you said, and I tell audiences, even when I do my open mic, I go, listen, you're going to see people here do some jokes. They're working on stuff, and some people who have never done comedy, it's an open mic. I go, you have two jobs, audience. If you find it funny, laugh. If you don't laugh, but don't heckle or chime in. And I got to tell you, this open mic, I've never was an open mic guy to host it, but this place that I do, the Dented Keg here in Newport Richie, the audience is so attentive. If it's funny, they'll laugh. If not, they just be quiet and they look at you, and it's fantastic. So, but you're right. Comedy clubs right now, everyone is very, very judgy. Everyone feels they have the right to not only I don't mind you quietly being offended or quietly not liking me, but the fact that no one said, hey, how do you feel, audience member? What is your opinion? Give it to me. No one said that. So just please don't say anything.
Just walk by and smile weakly, or you know what? Even walk by and shake your head like you're disappointed. Just go like this.
Yeah.
That's fine. Just don't say anything. Let the door hit you on the way out. I don't care. But just, I'll know. Trust me, I'm Catholic. I've got that disappointed look from my mother a million times.
Oh,
that cuts deeper, but I don't want to argue with you about it. You know what I mean?
You're exactly right. No, that's true. But I'm glad you said that and mentioned that. And you've been in the game now how long? Like 25 years comedy-wise?
36 years.
36?
Insane. Yeah, it's crazy. 36. Let's see. So I started when I was 19, and I'm 54 now.
Okay.
In September. Yeah, it's got a 34, 35. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I've been around since God wore short pants.
Dude, well, speaking of that, I got to share. I want to this is the mic I love. Can you see this picture right here?
Oh yeah.
I love this. Now you wear it. Now is this every show, or specifically when you work with like fellow Irish comedians? Because I love the green kilt. I saw you ironing this a few days ago, and I love this, man. What is, because you are very steeped in Irish heritage. What does it mean to you when you take the stage and you wear this kilt right here?
Let me tell you, brother, I'm representing my culture, and I mean, when I first started, I did regular jokes, but then I got on with the ICT, and it really made me understand and dig into my roots and my culture, and the fact that humor is such a big part of our culture. And when I dress up like this, which is, I would say, about half of the time, there are some places, like if I do it in July in Tennessee, they're like, what's going on there?
Yeah.
But anytime, I can do it any day in Boston because it's heavily Irish. And certainly from the middle of February all the way through March, I wear it every time. It is a pain in the neck, though. I got to be honest, Pat. Putting it on, because it comes with so much stuff that I normally go to the show in sweatpants, and then I put it on, I do the show, and I take it off, and people are all disappointed. They're like, why'd you take it off? I go, I don't know, man. It's a dress with like a bunch of belts on it and stuff that's sticking in the side. And I gotta wear this goofy little pouch that you can see in the picture.
Yeah.
But when I jump up on stage, every single one I've ever had hits me right in the right testicle.
Yeah, that's right. It
really does. It's like it's a CNI missile. I go, whoa, and it goes bonk, and I go, okay.
Dude, I love it. And just explaining to everyone, including me, just what it means to you. It's such a great thing. And I just love seeing that right there. So, I mean, man, we've covered all this good stuff. And I got to ask you, I know you said, and I'm very happy to hear, once Colleen graduates?
Yes. Once Colleen she's out, this is her junior year. And we're starting to look now.
Nice.
The problem is, Pat, the housing prices down there. I missed out. Because when I was down there, you could have stolen something on Madeira Beach.
Well, man, I tell you what, I got a couple of great people, including our studio sponsor, Julie Drollshagen in Century 21. We have some good people that we could put on the case for you whenever you guys are starting to look. But I'm so happy. Hopefully, in a couple of years here, when Colleen graduates, you'll be back in Florida, and we'll get you on some Comedians Uncorked events. But what is down the road? You're 54 now, right? Going on 55. Comedy, 36 years, successful, a great guy. You love your family, a proud Irishman. What's
Someone
next?
Walk in behind me?
What's that?
Someone walk in behind?
No, I hope not. Jesus, I thought I saw Jesus for a second. What's next in 5-10 years besides going to Florida? What's going down the road with Mike McCarthy?
I don't know, man. Maybe just a little bit more money. I don't think if I want, I would want. I don't know what to say if I want to be famous. Like, it's not gonna. If the only way I would be famous now is if like I was on the way to a gig and I saved a baby from a bridge, and then people and I got on like TV and they were like, "Oh, you're a comedian," and they'd be like, "Yeah." But I don't know if I'd want that. I'm very happy. I work every weekend, and I just want to be warm. I want to be on the beach, and I want to be in a good comedy scene, and I want to hang out with comics. I never want to. That's the best thing about what we do. You never have to quit. Yeah. You never have to quit, and it's hard to explain to like my wife and to civilians what it's like to just hang out with comics, because we all, dude, you get like, and you're in an open mic every week. You get a bunch of comics together. That's where I'm having the best times in my life. You know what I mean? I just want to be warm, hang out with comics, and tell jokes. That's all, brother.
It's like being in high school again with your friends or something. It's just
exactly it. And when you don't see certain people, like I worked last night, I saw a couple of people I hadn't seen in like almost the pandemic. Wow. I was, giddy. I was just like, "What's up? Yeah. What's going on? I haven't seen you," or whatever. And we all have friends and family, but comics, we share a bond, and there's so many of us. Like, how many comics do you know? How many comics do you know that you would just be like, "What's up, dude?" Right? Like 100 comics. Yeah. We're part of a fraternity. I take a lot of pride in that. That's that's my favorite.
You're exactly right. I love it. And we always do a segment weekly called "Where They At." Can you let people know before we give out your social media info where you're going to be at in the next week, 2 weeks, or month? Do you have any gigs coming up?
Oh yeah, tomorrow, Patty's Day, I'll be at White's of Westport, and on Friday, the 18th, I'll be at the Taunton Performing Arts Center. They're going to kill me because that's not the right way. Yeah. It'll be it's on the website anyways. And then Saturday, I'm going to be doing a private function. And then next week, I'm doing an all-pro show in Marlborough, Mass. And then I'm going to be at a new comedy club in Providence, Rhode Island. I'm not sure what the name of it is, but it's brand new, opening up Friday, Saturday. It's only about a month and a half old.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm trying to think it's the home of the Rhode Island Comedy Hall of Fame, and I don't remember. I don't know if they've christened it yet, but it's my buddy Billy Simus.
We're going to check it out, man. So I love it. And also, thanks for not reaching through the camera and trying to strangle me when we were talking about Tom Brady. You take it like a champ.
He's given me enough. And like I said, you know what, Pat? When something bums you out, and then all of a sudden you get material out of it, you go, okay. All right. I wouldn't have these jokes if you didn't leave to go to the Bucks. Exactly. And I got a good 4 or 5 minutes that is brand new, and I like to do because it's about Tommy. I love Tommy. Yeah. So yeah, you guys can have him. We had our share.
I can't call him an old clunker, but if he is an old clunker, he still has some gas in the tank. That's what we love.
No doubt about that.
So, well, man, listen, Mike McCarthy, man, I love you to death. And once you get down here again and do some more gigs with either solo or Irish comedy, let me know. We'll plug it. How can people get you real quick on social media?
Facebook, that's the Mike McCarthy on Facebook, the comedy Barbarian, You can just look that up on Facebook. And the website is thecomedybarbarian.com. Hopefully it's fixed by today because I let my son take over doing my website. And I checked yesterday. I'm not even kidding. If you go to my website right now, I'm probably going to leave it up there for humor. There's a recipe for garlic pasta. It says, see where he's performing next. And it's a recipe for garlic pasta. All right, there we go. I can hear you.
Oh, there we go. I love it. All right, very good. There we go. Okay, good. All right, we'll wrap it up right here then. Very good. Well, Mike McCarthy, thank you
so very much for having me, man, and thanks for everything you do for the comedy. It lights me up every time I see your post has been shared, and it says Comedians Uncorked has shared your post. It always says Boston's Mike McCarthy, and I'm like, they're keeping their eye on me down there. I want to keep that seat warm. I want the people down in FLA to know what I'm doing, and I'm coming back for sure.
It's what we do, and we can't wait for you to come back. Thanks for being on the Comedians Uncorked podcast. Boston's Mike McCarthy. Have a great St. Paddy's Day. And we'll see you soon.